Welcome to NCSS Here for You. For over 50 years, Northwestern Counseling and Support Services has been providing access to quality psychosocial services to the residents of Franklin and Grand Isle counties. Over the years, as the needs of the community have changed, so too have the programs and services that we make available to assist children, adolescents, adults, families, and seniors. We take our role in the community seriously, and we strive to provide the highest quality services. According to Eric Erickson, a noted developmental psychologist, every person must pass through a series of 8 interrelated stages over the entire life cycle. NCSS provides a continuum of services to meet the needs of individuals who at any point seek assistance. NCSS's purpose is creating a stronger community, one person at a time. Now, let's get to today's show. I'm Joe Halco, Director of Community Relations for Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, and welcome to another episode of NCSS Here for You. Each month in this program, we discuss a human services topic of interest, and we do that with staff from one of our 3 direct services divisions. Our 3 services divisions are Behavioral Health Services, Children, Youth, and Family Services, and Developmental Services. And, on occasion, we have a member of the administration staff discuss topics that affect all of our services. This month's episode is titled Youth in Transition. The Youth in Transition program has an active youth leadership group called New Generation, made up of youth representatives from both Franklin and Grand Isle counties. The group provides an environment for youth to develop leadership skills while at the same time creating an advisory board of youth that has participated in meetings and focus groups at both the local and state levels. Recently, the 3rd annual Youth in Transition Conference was held at BFA St. Albans with a total of 59 attendees. The conference includes presenters, exhibitors, and roundtable discussions to assist youth as they transition into adulthood. To discuss the Youth in Transition program, the conference, and New Generation in greater detail, I'm pleased to introduce this month's guest. Ebony Nione, NCSS Youth in Transition Grant Coordinator, and we'll also be joined shortly by New Generation Executive Committee members Chantal, Chris, and Montana. Ebony, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
First of all, what is the goal of the Youth in Transition program at NCSS?
Sure. Well, our primary goal is to strengthen the system of care for youth in Franklin and Grand Isle counties. We do that by bringing awareness to Northwest communities about the plight of youth and young adults. We put on conferences such as the annual Youth in Transition Conference that we just had the past January 25th. We also have Youth Safety Awareness Day. We also have weekly leadership group that meets every Wednesday from 3 to 6 at 17 Lake Street in St. Albans.
And what requirements must youth meet to participate in the Youth in Transition program?
Sure. Well, youth between the ages of 15 and 21 can participate in any of our programs or projects by having either the youth or a caregiver or a school administrator or service provider contact me and get them enrolled.
Okay. Now, let's take a look at some of the images from the recently completed Youth in Transition Conference that was held at BFA St. Albans. Now we're being joined by executive committee members of New Generation, and they are Montana, Chantal, and Chris. And I want to welcome all of you to the program this afternoon. So now to continue with the line of questioning, the recent Youth in Transition Conference was the third annual event that's been held. And why is it important that youth attend this event?
Well, this conference only comes once a year, and it's really the one of the only formats for youth to be able to come together and have a sort of meeting of the minds and be able to discuss things that are important to them as it pertains to the community, as it pertains to their well-being, as it pertains to their transition into adulthood. Mm-hmm. And during this time, it's also an opportunity to have most of the community's resources together in one room so that youth can participate and get the information that they need.
Mm-hmm. And would anybody like to add anything to that from your perspective?
Mostly, I agree completely with Ebony. I mean, yeah. For this time, I would like to add, when being a teenager, it's probably it's going to seem like one of the hardest moments in your life. So when you want somebody to talk to, or you want somebody to help you out, or you know, sometimes your parents or just adults probably aren't the best people to talk to. Mm-hmm. So that's why with us, not saying I'm the easiest person to talk to. Sometimes I can be a little difficult too, mm-hmm. but it's a little easier to talk heart to heart with another teenager than it is to talk with an adult. So in that situation, that's where we come in. It's a lot easier to be helpful for us. So,
totally understand that. Anyone else have anything to add to that, or?
Perfect.
Okay. Now, a number of community partners are present at this conference as well, both as exhibitors and roundtable discussion facilitators. If you could explain the importance of their involvement and the collaborative effort that they have on the youth that are attending the conference.
Sure. It's a really important opportunity for service providers and members of different organizations in the community to come together and let youth know that they do care about their concerns and that they do care about their well-being. And then to also be in a situation where their youth and the providers or the organizations are conversing together and having an equal conversation that that helps youth express their needs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
anyone have anything to add to that as far as?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Now, sponsors and organizations, a lot of them provide gifts in kind, and that's also, of course, very important for the conference itself. Who are some of those that were involved this year?
Sure.
From that standpoint?
I don't want to leave out any organization, mm-hmm. but some of the organizations that have participated, I can name a few: Caring Communities, Department of Children and Families, Department of Health, Families in the Army, and Voices Against Violence, and Community Justice Center are just some of the few people who participated in the conference.
And as you had said earlier, one of the nice things is having all of these organizations in one room at one time.
Yes.
So that youth can,
yes.
Touch base with them, during
yes.
a given period of
yes.
time.
And I love this time of the year because so many organizations in the community, not just service providers, but businesses like Mimo's and mm-hmm. Eastern Dragon and so many businesses contributed towards making this event fun for the youth through giving vouchers or gift certificates mm-hmm. And that kind of thing. So it's a really sweet time where many people in the community express their their partnership in many different ways. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the terrific things about this community is how all these businesses and organizations do come together.
Definitely. Very tight-knit community.
Now, New Generation is the Youth and Transition Leadership Team, and, what makes this significant?
I think what makes this so significant or important is the fact that now, originally we had the Teen Center, which was up on Barlow Street. That's right. It was up on Barlow Street, and originally I started going there, and then I started helping out there. And before I really didn't see the big deal behind it.
Yeah.
And I started seeing the kids that were coming in there, the kids who had all these problems, either their life at home was bad, their life at school, kids bullied them, and they would go in there, and it's like none of that even mattered. You'd go in there, and people would be nice to you. It didn't matter who. I mean, it was a great place to go to.
Yeah.
And after that ended, I really wanted that to come back and wanted it to be a part of this community again because it helped so much. And I liked helping all those kids out. I mean, we had a snowboarding club. We'd go and teach kids how to snowboard, and they weren't very old. A lot of them weren't good at it, but it was fun. It doesn't matter how many times you mess up as long as it's fun.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to recreate, was that fun. No matter how bad life gets or how much you screw up, you have a place to go where you can just it doesn't even matter. So that's the big importance of the Teen Center of Youth and Transition and New Generation, is the fact that we help kids kind of forget about the bad stuff and just think of the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Excellent. Anything else that you'd like to add?
No, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking of the Youth Center, I know that, Montana, you were talking about the days when there was the center on Barlow Street, and, now we've evolved to another point in time, and we now have a recently opened community youth center on Lake Street, and again, realizing that it's just starting out. But if you could tell the viewers a little bit about that location and what you see happening there and what the hopes are with that facility, that would be great.
Right now, it's starting out, and it's you were to go in there right now and look at how we have our meetings and stuff, it's a little bit goofy. They're not, it's not like business, this is what we got to do. It's, you're relaxing, you're just talking about stuff that's got to get done.
Sure.
That place is more for us to go and get that stuff down. I mean, kids are welcome to go there, and we welcome it. We want kids to come there, but we are focusing on trying to get someplace really good. But for now, that's what we have, and we're going to work with it. And it would be a huge help if kids could come and just see it, And even if they want to just go there and hang out, I mean, we're getting stuff there so people can come and relax and hang out. Kids have a place to go after school if they don't really want to go home at the moment in time, and their parents are okay with them going somewhere like that. Just a place to go hang out, pass the time by.
We really want their opinion on what to do for the community, and how to help and how to get the place out there. I think the only problem with it now is it's sort of hidden behind a building. You actually have to walk down a small alleyway and turn, and it's there.
I see.
But we have a website right now where you can donate if you want. It's not done yet, but we're working on it. And we put a video up actually starting on Main Street to the place on how to get there.
Yes.
It's a pretty funny video, but you'll get there either way.
And Chantal, is the website currently operating, or you're saying you're working on it?
It's not. I'm working on it right now. Okay.
So have you finalized a website address yet that people, or are you not there yet?
Not there
Not
yet.
there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are your hopes as far as the timing on getting a website up and running? Like within the next several months, or what's the...
Hopefully within the next couple months, because we wanted to set up a completely separate donation site, hopefully with PayPal, because it's the safest. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. Chris, did you want to add something?
No, they kind of got most of it.
Now, I know that there are other fundraising events that the organization has been holding, and last week you had the Valentines Dance. And how did that go from your perspective?
I think it was good. we're still new to that kind of stuff, so we're still working on everything that we kind of mess up on. I mean, we had it on a Thursday. We didn't want to add too much to the competition. So all in all, a Thursday night, probably not the best night to do it, but at the same time, we have to try and make sure we're not bumping into anybody else's time either.
Yeah, I think it went really well to have had it on a Thursday, and the point of that was to try to provide a safe venue for youth to go on a very popular holiday, and have something positive that they were doing, and so it turned out really nice. Chantel was able to design unique roses for youth who wanted to buy roses for each other or for themselves. And we had a DJ and refreshments, and so it was a really nice public dance at the City Hall. And this is our third year having it.
Yep.
That's excellent. Are there any other, have you been brainstorming any other types of events that you'd like to add throughout the course of the year as you go forward?
We've wanted to work at Farmers Market on selling things, which I think last year we tried, but we weren't really sure what to sell.
I see.
So, and kids were still really busy with stuff, so we're going to try to get more stuff we can try to sell there this year, which should work.
So you would have a space and then either rotate each week with the types of things you should sell, or just try to figure out what's the best?
We're not going to try to do a boring one thing. We're going to try to do a bunch of different things. And again, the more opinions, the better. If kids would come in and tell us. But
yeah. And is that part of the thing this spring that would be good if they came into the community center and you could kind of
very helpful.
Brainstorm ideas and how you would do it and that sort of thing? Anything other than that as far as ideas that you've had for events?
The homeless van.
We have a van that we want to get a bunch of youth from our group and go around and give out care packages to the homeless and even just civilians.
Very nice. And where does that stand? I mean, is it kind of in the embryonic stages of trying to figure out how you're going to do that, or is that something that you're getting close to actually?
We're getting a lot closer to doing that than anything else.
Very nice. Anything else throughout the course of the year that you're thinking about?
Till we come up with something new. That's
Poetry slams?
Oh yeah, we do poetry slams. I unfortunately wasn't at our last one that we had because I had errands I had to go do. But from what I heard, it was pretty good. The last one was pretty good. So I kind of want to do some more of those and get those up and going, have that a regular thing, not all the time, but every once in a while throughout the year, that would be really good to have those. So
Cosmic Bakery helps us with that. We do it in there mostly.
Yes.
And
Yeah, they're
Ciao
very supportive, and Ciao as well.
Yes.
And that's that is a type of an event that you could have each quarter because it's always different. And I mean, like you said, Montana, it's something that could kind of be on a schedule, and yet it's always going to be a little different, each time that you have it. So that's a nice idea. That's a good idea. Anything else that comes to mind that you've been working on, or?
So many things we've been thinking of and haven't really started planning yet.
We were talking about doing the camping trip.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Getting the small group that we have now and going camping somewhere for a couple days.
Good idea. Good idea.
About the mural project?
Oh yeah. Have we actually figured out a place we wanted to do the mural yet?
No, we're still looking. The youth were responsible for designing a mural and entering that mural to a national contest. And they decided that even if they don't win the contest, they still would like to display that mural because it featured the plight of youth and homeless youth and all kinds of youth in their lifetime, in their lifespan. So it's pretty awesome.
Nice.
I think it would definitely be good, like she said, even if we lose, it'd be good to have that out there so people can see.
We want people to see us working on it.
Yeah.
And wondering what it is and why we're doing it.
Well, and you mentioned something that's interesting, which is, yes, there will be somebody who ultimately is the quote-unquote winner, but the reality is, it's the fact that you're doing it, that you're already winners, because you're trying to express yourself in a certain way.
Right.
And, that's really the important thing. And I mean, the fact that somebody's going to judge, one might have a little more of this, that, or the other thing. I think the fact that you have that in mind is really a great idea.
I think the last thing that this thing that's coming up is that they're going to do a workshop for Youth Safety Awareness Day, and it's going to be held at 17 Lake Street, and they're going to do a workshop on social media and texting from a youth's perspective, and so that's a really cool thing. That's going to be March 20th at 17 Lake Street. So.
And that is part of your overall Youth Awareness
yes,
Day. And what time of the day will that be held?
7 p.m.
At 7 p.m.?
Yes.
And that is right at the Youth Center, which is at
17 Lake Street.
And if anyone wants more information about that, they contact you. How do they get in touch with you, Ebony?
Well, they can contact me at ebony.yoni@ncssinc.org or call me at 393-6571 for more details.
Now, I take it all of you are going to be involved in that event on the 20th at 7 o'clock as far as, that's great. That is great. Now, what are some of the other future plans and goals of the Youth in Transition program itself on an overall basis?
Sure. Well, we want to definitely continue to find opportunities to be on the islands and to work with youth on the islands, as well as throughout, Franklin County. And we want to have opportunities for them to develop their own programs and their own projects. We just want to continue that momentum and have like a series of youth groups who are working collaboratively with each other in a different locations, different communities, whether it's Richford, whether it's Swanton, whether it's Alburgh, towards a similar goal, which is making more resources available for youth in our region, making youth voice heard in our region, and just making youth more comfortable with their transition into adulthood, making sure that they have everything that they need to be successful. So that's what we want to continue doing.
Any other thoughts from New Generation as far as that's concerned?
Mostly just getting bigger.
Yeah. Now, since you are so young as an organization, what types of goals do you have set up? I mean, are there certain milestones you'd like to hit up at certain points, whether it's in 6 months or 1 year, or is there anything definitively that you've said, boy, I'd really like to have us at this particular level at a given point in time, or is that something that you haven't really crossed yet?
Besides having a bigger place, for me anyways, I don't know about everybody else, but one of the people that used to work on the original center, she always told me that the only reason why she did it was to help the kids that were coming in, no matter if it was the smallest thing to the biggest thing. And hearing that from somebody, it's kind of surprising. It just kind of throws me back, because nowadays there isn't a whole lot of people you'll hear say that, that they're doing something purely because they want to help. And to hear that, it kind of made me think I wouldn't mind doing that either. That would be something that I would love to do. And ever since the original teen center, it's all I've really thought about doing is trying to help the youth out in any way that I can, big or small. And I say big or small because a lot of people say the smallest things make the big differences, but in some cases it really is the big things. While it may be overwhelming or it may be, a little in your face, the big things can help out a lot, as much as the small things can. So.
Well, and you have the right attitude there too, Montana, because one of the facts are that the future of this community is our youth. And, you know, youth have to feel, like you've said, that they have a place that they can try to navigate and figure out, you know, how do they get from point A to point B. And everybody, you know, the other thing that's interesting is everybody's different. So, you know, you need to respect and understand the fact that somebody may come at something from a different perspective than you, but yet you all may be trying to get to the same end goal. Some people will get there more slowly, some people need a little more assistance, whatever the case may be. But, you know, I think that's one of the great things that you're trying to do as a collective group with a youth center, is to be able to provide a place for youth to kind of just chill out, figure things out, you know, hopefully collaborate with one another, and you know, help people to blossom and flourish. And as you said earlier, a lot of times that doesn't mean speaking to an adult, or, you know what I mean. It's really sometimes the best way to get through something is to work amongst your peers and try to figure out some of those answers. So I commend you all on what you're doing in an effort to trying to get a youth center in this community that is going to have some sustainability and you know, will make a difference in an awful lot of individuals' lives, without a doubt.
That's the dream.
So I really, again, I want to, on behalf of, I know, NCSS and the work that Ebony does, commend you for everything that you're doing and wish you all the best of luck, because I know that it isn't easy, and by the same time it can be very rewarding. And you know, I certainly wish all of you the best with that. So we are, believe it or not, out of time. And this has been a very interesting discussion about many of the aspects of youth in transition here in Franklin, Grand Isle counties. And I want to thank my special guests, Ebony Neone, Montana, Chantal, and Chris, for being on the show today and sharing their insights on the Youth in Transition program, the recent conference, and New Generation. These initiatives will go a long way in improving the lives of many of our local youth. I also want to thank you, the viewer, for spending time with us again this month. I'm Joe Halco, and I'll be back again next month with another episode of NCSS Here for You. This has been another episode of NCSS Here for You. We hope that you found today's discussion informative and educational. For over 50 years, Northwestern Counseling and Support Services has been providing access to quality psychosocial services to the residents of Franklin and Grand Isle counties. Over the years, as the needs of the community have changed, so too have the programs and services that we make available to assist children, adolescents, adults, families, and seniors. Thanks once again for tuning in this month. NCSS's purpose remains creating a stronger community, one person at a time.